Today I'm going to show you guys how to turn a plastic bag, grocery bag, into some fused plastic. So we're going to start off with just your regular old grocery bag, and I'll show you how to make these fused sheets that are nice and durable and can be used for a lot of other things. So you're going to start off with just your regular old grocery bags. I do recommend using ones that maybe don't look as cool as others to practice. Take some scissors and you're going to cut off the bottom and the top. Now, if you watched my last craft video last week, I did the same starting procedure for making plastic yarn or plarn. If you didn't see that, make sure to check it out. But we're taking off the bottom and the handles. I did say that I would talk to you about how you can still use those so they don't go to waste. I sometimes ball them up and use them as stuffing, like maybe in a sewing project, depending on what it is. And I'll show you another use a little later on in this video. So go ahead, cut those off, and then you can spread it out and it lays essentially flat. Now, what we've got here is printed on the outside is the ink, and that is just going to make a mess. So you're always going to want to turn it inside out. And that basically just encases that ink so it doesn't get messy. And go ahead and fold it up. Different tutorials you'll find out there say, 8 or fewer or more layers. Go ahead and get a towel or an ironing board and iron on medium to high. That's probably a little high when I'm originally showing you. Just make sure there's no steam. And then paper, whether it's paper or grocery bag. These are just printer paper pieces. And put it between because you want to make sure you don't melt that to your iron or ironing surface. And just go ahead and go over it, constantly moving it. And you want to make sure you don't trap any air bubbles or anything. So checking on it, this is when I realized that the heat was too hot, because you've got all those holes in there. So it does take a little trial and error, and I haven't done this in a while, so it's a little rusty. But here I have a gray bag that I cut out all the portions that didn't involve any of the writing or logos or anything, so you can get a nice kind of blank there. Folded it so there's 8 layers, and then ironing it from the inside out. And just check on it regularly. You can see there's some kind of inconsistencies with the colors. There might be some air bubbles or just a part that you didn't do well. So just check on it every once in a while. Make sure it's not too hot to touch. And it's looking pretty good. But as you can see, it definitely didn't get that edge well enough. There's still very distinct layers. And I think it's good just to kind of flip it over once or twice to make sure, the backside gets an even amount of heat as well. Alright, so that's looking pretty good, very durable, and you can see you can kind of, it does pull, it does damage, it's not, destruction proof, but it is very durable. You can use it in projects like sewing a larger reusable grocery bag. I've used it to make wallet. You could make different pouches like pencil pouches or makeup bags, that kind of stuff. Really, there are a lot of opportunities that you can use this, and it's waterproof. Obviously, since it's made of plastic. Just make sure to do, I forgot to mention, make sure to do this in a well-ventilated environment because you are melting plastic technically. So just showing you another one. This is just all white. I made sure there weren't any logos or anything, but I decided to do some decoration. So I got these logos, but because they have ink, I need to make sure that that doesn't make a mess. So I'm putting them on the inside just underneath one layer so they can shine through. So here we have one of the handles that I mentioned, and how we can reuse that is I just cut one up into little pieces. This one was a gray one, and just kind of confetti. This definitely was not my most well thought out design. Just having fun experimenting with things. And you can see there's that little bit of ink there, so I make sure to the same side always faces in so I don't get that on my iron. But unless you get a whole lot of ink or something, you can honestly still use these papers. You know, have the kids draw on them or something. So there you go, flip it over, iron the back side. So, you know, the designs were pretty lackluster on this. I decided to see if I could make it look a little more bold. So just using some of that sheet, it's darker. And honestly, this is where I think the fun is. If you, I mean, you could like cut out letters or logos or designs. And yeah, it fused really well actually. So anyway, that is how you use plastic bags to make fused plastic. It's a great way to reuse, recycle, upcycle, whatever you want to call it. If you enjoy these types of videos, let me know. I would love to make more. I'm really into that sort of thing. It saves money, you feel good about it because of the environment and just waste and all that. So again, if you haven't watched my Plarn, the plastic yarn video, go ahead and check that out. I'd love for you to subscribe, thumbs up, comment, all that great stuff. And if you haven't heard of Patreon, click on that top left link. See how you can support this channel, and I hope you all have a great day. We'll be back Tuesday with a cooking video.